Okay, we also have vocabulary that's associated with circles that we need to know. So, and I did say here not only can we measure angles, but we can also use that information to measure what's called arc. And we talked about arc in a previous video. Now, for a circle, if a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a given point, then an arc is any part of the circle that can be drawn without lifting a pencil. Okay, let's go back over that again. Here's a picture of a circle. A circle is all of the points in a plane that are the exact same distance from a center point. This center point here, in this case, it's marked as O. If we were to measure out from that in all directions, that would be the exact same length. That's called a radius of the circle. So here we have a picture of the radius. And that radius is the exact same for any 2 points between the center and the outside of the circle. Now, if we have a radius that measures from the circle out here and a radius that measures from the center, out to here, then that's called a diameter, one that goes completely through the center and connecting as endpoints of the circle. That's called a diameter. If we pick any 2 points on that circle and we draw a line between those two, say for instance here from C to D, that's called an arc of the circle. And we can actually measure that if we knew what the angle was between, if we knew what this angle measure was, then we would know exactly what the arc measure was. Because remember me saying that those are the same measurements. Now, anytime that I draw a line between any 2 points on the circle, not going through the center because that's a diameter, then we call that a chord of the circle. So any two endpoints here, if I make a line between those, that's called a chord. But if it goes through the center, it's called a diameter. Don't forget that. We can also talk about arcs as being either major or minor, and it all has to do with the degree measure. Here we have one that says arc AB, and you notice that arc is labeled with a little circular sort of line over the AB. From A to B, the arc here is called a minor arc, actually because it is less than 90 degrees. And then they say arc ACB is a major arc, which ACB is probably not written in the best way. They should have listed it as ABC, that arc being a major arc. It's kind of awkward to label the points out of order. This should have been A, B, C as the arc, but can you see that this would be, if we had a 90 degrees, that would be, let me run it right like this. So that would make this 90 degrees. Well, A, B, C is more than that. So anytime that our arc length is more than 90 degrees, we call it a major arc. Below 90 degrees, we call it a minor arc. Now also we need to go over just our previous vocabulary of perpendicular lines. You guys should have seen that in the past, where we have two lines that meet in a 90-degree angle. Those are called perpendicular lines. Well, we can apply that to planes also. Anytime we have a line that forms a 90-degree angle with a plane, then that would be also perpendicular. And in fact, here our planes are perpendicular, and here's another shot of it. We have perpendicular planes whenever every single line in there forms 90-degree angles. Now, we also have what's called a dihedral angle. A dihedral angle just means the angle between two planes. In this case, this is a right dihedral angle because it forms a right angle, a 90-degree angle.